So one of the significant differences between the cloud and on-premises security approaches is network security. So typically in your data center, you have control of the physical network. So you can put packet sniffing technology on the physical network and view your traffic for compromised activity or for different types of attacks. And these flow into security monitoring tools. In the cloud, you don't have ownership of the physical network layer. You have access to a virtualized network, and your virtual images operate on top of those virtual networks. And so what that means is information that flows across the virtual network may not even leave a physical host to travel on the physical network. So that's one significant difference. Most of the cloud security providers only allow traffic meant for a particular image to arrive at that image. So if you put a physical or packet sniffing technology on one of your images, you would not be able to actually see network traffic at all. So that's the primary difference. So what that means is that there's three different types of ways to implement network security in a cloud environment. One is physical appliances. And physical appliances are good for your physical network when you own it and your private cloud. When you move to the public cloud, you're not going to be able to take that physical appliance and put it into the cloud to monitor your traffic. The next step, or the next type of appliance, is the virtual appliance, which moves into the cloud and can start tracking some of the information that's moving across your virtual network. And I say some of the information because in serverless, if you're using serverless technologies, you don't even have access to the virtual network that your traffic is going to traverse. You couldn't even monitor that. But let's say you're in an infrastructure as a service environment with your virtual appliance. The problem with the virtual appliance approach is it becomes a bottleneck. All your traffic is flowing through the virtual appliance. And that increased cost, because then your virtual appliance has to scale, and you're using, and ideally it's cloud aware, so it can scale using auto scale groups, etc. But if the virtual appliance is not cloud aware and traffic is traversing through it, it may also become confused because in a cloud environment, the same address may be used by multiple hosts over several times in an hour even. So many of the virtual appliances become confused in that type of environment. Except for some use cases, what's typically used in the cloud environment, what's recommended, are host-based agents. And those host-based agents are lightweight, they're cloud native, they're cloud aware, they can track information in terms of file integrity monitoring or potential access to the machine that shouldn't occur. And it takes advantage of native cloud, or the native cloud logging infrastructure to deliver that information to a SIEM, which then monitors for intrusion and configuration changes that should not have occurred. So that's the primary differences. In your private network or your private cloud, you can use physical appliances. But in cloud-based, you don't have access to that virtual network traffic because of its virtual network. And it's a migration, or the recommended approach is use host-based agents. So ultimately, when you're migrating from your private cloud or the data center into the public cloud, the way they implement security is different, and that's ultimately because of the access to the physical network in the private cloud versus lack of access and only access to the virtual private network in the public cloud.
The difference between cloud and on-premise security approaches can include, for example, some cloud service providers which offer managed services that can assess continuous compliance to certifications like GDPR of the financial institution. These managed services can use machine learning to assess different behavioral patterns to access patterns of sensitive data in the cloud, and it can also automatically detect and classify these types of data, sensitive data that are stored. And this, if the FI themselves were to implement such a solution on premise, it would require significant investment in resources and in actually buying the software, necessary software to create these solutions, which is why the cloud can make this process a lot more seamless.